Hey, how y'all doing? Hopefully your day or your night is going well. Whenever you hear this, but I'm gonna get right into it. This is my preseason prediction, a continuation of the ones I've done already. This game is Colorado at Texas Tech. Get right into Texas Tech. Texas Tech had a big turnover year for the first time in a long time for them. Um, but the talent that they have brought in, from what I read, would be considered enough, should be considered enough to win the Big 12 championship in 2024, which tells you how good that the talent coming in that they've attained or that they've recruited, either through high school or through the transfer portal. They did go 5-4 last year in the Big 12 conference, 7-6 overall, which is an average season. They did go 4-2 at home. The only team that they beat last year that was ranked was number 16th ranked Kansas, and they beat them at Kansas, which was a big win. So that tells you the potential that they could have. The offense will be led by the QB. Morton is his last name. He threw for 1,700 yards and 15 touchdowns last year and 8 interceptions. Those are not very good numbers, especially when you compare them to Shador. The 1754 was the most yards that he's had in his career, which probably tells you he hasn't played a lot. He only had 3 passing attempts in 2021. He had 96 in 2022. He had 293 attempts in 2023. So just like I just said, he hadn't played a lot, but as he graduated and went to, gradually got older, he got more and more time. So this good progression as a player. So it's just taking him longer to get to this end point. The most yards he's ever thrown for was 282 yards against TCU. The most touchdowns he's ever thrown was 3 against Cal and 3 against Baylor. So just average numbers as a quarterback. Now the running back position, his last name is Brooks. I don't want to mess up his first name, Tahj. They actually have him as a preseason All-American. He had 290 carries last year, which is a workhorse, for 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. He's a workhorse, like I just said. The 1,500 yards that he got last year was the most in his career. The most yards that he's had in one game was 182 yards against UCF. The most touchdowns he's had in the game was 2, which came against Houston. The offensive line, they will have a new offensive line coach coming in this year, so there will be some adjustments. They have 4 new offensive line starters who transferred in. They have one guy named Vinny that came in from Toledo. They have a guy named that transferred in from Memphis. He's a guard, Davian and Carter. And then there are 2, those guys are 2 of the highest rated interior linemen that were in the portal. And Texas Tech got both of those guys. As far as the wide receivers, they will have a 5-star freshman. Micaiah Hudson is his name. He was a big time instant impact player. He was actually offered by teams like Alabama, Auburn, Colorado offered him, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and others. That just tells you the caliber of player that he was. He will be joined as a wide receiver with the Washington State transfer named Josh Kelly. Kelly is coming off of a strong season. He had 61 receptions for 923 yards and 8 touchdowns, almost 1,000-yard receiver. 8 touchdowns is a lot for a wide receiver. He did get up. The most yards that he had was 159 yards against Oregon State. He also had his most touchdowns in the game, which was 3 against Oregon State. So he's a very good wide receiver. So those are 2 very good wide receivers. On defense, they had to go to the transfer portal. They did get a guy that transferred in from Rice. Last name is Carroll. He's supposed to be very good. The linebackers, they have a top duo returning that was there last year. One is named Jacob Rodriguez and Ben Roberts. Rodriguez was hurt most of 2023, but he was one of the most impactful defenders that they had in the conference when he was healthy. So he made a lot of noise when he was healthy, which garnered him a lot of respect. Ben Roberts earned freshman All-American honors, which tells you a lot about him. He was the only rookie in the country with more than 100 tackles in 2023. Hear what I just said. Ben Roberts, first team freshman All-American, was the only rookie in the country that had more than 100 total tackles in 2023. The secondary has 3 They lost 3 of their 5 starters from 2023, and it is what it is. So as far as the game, I think with the talent that they brought in, when they considered the talent that they brought in good enough to win the Big 12, they have a preseason All-American running back. They have a 5-star wide receiver that with combined with another 1,000-yard receiver. They do have 4 new offensive linemen, but they're all supposed to be good. The receivers I just said are good, and the fact that they're playing at home, I think Texas Tech will win this game. I think Shador would still have a good game because I just think he's that talented. But Texas Tech, with everything I just said, including them being at home, including them having a good running back, which tells you if you get behind, if Colorado gets behind, they can run the ball. And with a team that's good enough to be picked to win the Big 12 says a lot about what they have coming in. So I have Texas Tech winning this game by a couple of touchdowns. I'm not really big on predicting scores, but it is what it is. It's been Hunt 919 Truth Sports. Ride with me. It's been Hunt 919 Truth Sports. Ride with me.